There are two types of focus that you can utilize in your combat training, and that's primary focus and peripheral focus. Now, I know there's something called split focus that we won't talk about today. However, primary focus and peripheral focus have to do with where your eyes are actually honing in on. Now, in primary focus, this is how our eyes are actually built. When we focus in on a target and we look at it, it actually can help us balance and we can see what we're hitting or where we're hitting towards. Okay, so that's primary focus. Now, peripheral focus takes that away. So if my primary focus is directly at you here, I'm looking directly at the camera. Peripheral focus will actually take my focus elsewhere, my eyes directed elsewhere, but I can still see you outside in this area here. Now, the best way to do your peripheral focus is to kind of soften your primary focus so you get an overall picture to try to see almost all around you. Now, why is this important? Well, a lot of times people will look to the eyes to see what they're going to do next. If you're fighting and they constantly go, oh, I'm going to kick, they're going to look down at there. That's where they're going to aim for. Their eyes move towards here. Problem with that is if I get into a close range or short range and I'm up close, my eyes are here, I might not see somebody. Yes, see, I don't even know if you can tell that. I'm kicking towards towards the bottom. I'm hitting and tapping the leg. Hit here, hit the groin, everything like that. But you can't see that because I'm focused right here. But using my peripheral focus, I can see all the way down. Now, where you actually focus during a fight on somebody, on a one-on-one opponent, is going to be the solar plexus. Solar plexus catches everything. Now, boxing, they say the chest, because punches don't come above the chest. It doesn't matter where the eyes are at, where their head's at. You can see the shoulders moving from here. When you're getting more into, say, kickboxing or Muay Thai, you have the legs you got to worry about as well. So you lower that focus towards the solar plexus of your opponent in that short range. Now you can see everything using peripheral focus. You can see the movement of the shoulders, you can see the movement of the hips, you can see the switching of the feet, the moving, the different angles that they can move at, and you're using your peripheral focus to see somebody as a whole. Now, in multiple fighters, it's a whole different type of training that you can do. You would use your peripheral focus to encompass everybody who is attacking you in different directions. So you don't want to necessarily focus on one opponent if somebody's off to the side here. It's just outside your peripheral. I would probably focus somewhere here so I can keep an eye on both. But you can train both, and you should train both. Focus on here and then start expanding out how far you can see. It's something you do in your sparring practice. It's something you can do in when you're doing your visualizations, which, if you've done any of the studies on that, visualization is actually the same, almost the same in connecting your neurons as actual practice. So use those visualizations, imagine somebody in front of you, react to them, and focus on how they're moving. Have them throw predetermined techniques. 1-step sparring, 2-step sparring, 3-step sparring, and free sparring. All those things matter and help you become a better fighter for that. So practice both. Primary focus, focusing on the target, pinpointing. Right, I'm gonna pinpoint right here every time, and then move off to the side. Peripheral focus, boom, boom, boom. Can you still hit your target from there? Maybe if you don't have as good or as wide a peripheral focus, maybe you'll shorten that angle. We talked about last week, diminutive style of training or the dichotomy of the extremes in training. Maybe I can't go as far here and still hit on target over here. I have to come a little closer so I can see it and just reference it back here. There's something called visual reference points that actually keeps us balanced, but you can train yourself out of that when you're hitting towards your targets using your peripheral vision. But that takes practice, drilling, and it's a skill to build. So build up your primary focus when you're targeting in sparring and actual live bouts. You want to practice that peripheral focus and take somebody as a whole. So you see their arms, their movement, their legs, everything. Okay, so primary focus, peripheral focus. Train them both.